أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome everybody to another one of your G2 classes. I hope you're all doing well today, inshallah. And as always, we are going to start off our class with an opening prayer. And for that, I'll request our support teacher to call someone to the mic. Assalamu alaikum, co-host.
Wa alaikum assalam. Can I request student G2715 to come to the mic, please?
Jazakumullah. Student G2715. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm good too, alhamdulillah. Jazakumullah for asking. So if you'd like to start off with Ta'awudh and Tasmiyah, and then inshallah I'll lead you into the recitation, okay?
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Well done, mashallah. And if you could repeat after me. Allahumma inni
اللهم إني
as'aluka
أسألك
ilman nafi'a.
علما نافعا.
Good, well done, mashallah. The Ain pronunciation was on spot. Well done. And if you could please read out the English translation for us.
O Allah, I ask for you beneficial knowledge.
Perfect. And that's Ibn Majah Hadith number 925. Jazakumullah for coming to the mic, student G2715. That was very, very nicely recited. Jazakumullah.
Jazakallah. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz. Okay. So, as always, let's just quickly run through our class etiquettes. Make sure you have all joined the class today having done your wudu or your ablution. Make sure you're wearing clean clothes and that your head is also covered. It's very important to sit in a very quiet place so that we can eliminate as much background noise as possible, because it does get very hard for us to sometimes hear students when there is quite a bit of background noise. So let's make sure we're sitting in a quiet place, and most importantly, let's make sure we have signed in with the correct IDs, as only the correct IDs will be called to the mic. So there has also been a Google form link sent into the chat facility. Make sure that before this class ends today, that you open that link and you register your attendance for today, okay? And before we progress on to our schedule for today, I will ask our G2 teacher to come to the mic and give us a quick reminder and make a quick announcement about one of our upcoming events. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Jazakallah. I'll just share my screen for a few minutes. Okay, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah everyone. So as you know, in our G courses in G1 and G2, we take pride in our jalsas. So if you have been a part of G1, then you would know that we really put a lot of hard work and effort into our jalsas, and obviously it can't be complete without the students. Okay, so we like our students to take part as well, participate in the jalsa. So in G2, we are going to celebrate Jalsa Yawm Muslih Maud Razilatul Anhu, and we will celebrate the Jalsa after the half term on the Friday, 24th of February. Okay, so at the usual class time. So for the Jalsa, we would like to request all the students to submit your recordings for various activities by Thursday, the 16th of February. Okay, so that is next week, Thursday. And because it's half term, you'll have plenty of time to practice and then record and then send us your recordings via email. The email to which you have to send the recordings is ukquranclass@gmail.com. Okay, when you send us the recordings, please make sure that you state the activity name, whichever activity you are taking part in. So for example, if you're taking part in Tilawat, make sure to say Tilawat followed by your student ID. So G6 XYZ, whatever your ID is, followed by course ID, which is G2. And you have to mention these things in your audio recordings file name as well. Okay, so once you have recorded yourself, if you can rename the file with these details, so rename it to Tilawat G6 XYZ G2, that will be really helpful for us, okay, for basically sorting out all the recordings and sending it to the teachers who will then listen and then select the best recording, okay? So the activities in which you can take part, here they are. So we have Tilawat of Surah Al-Jummah, verse 1 to 5. We will also have translation of the same verses. We will have a hadith, and because it's Jalsa Yawm Musleh Maud, we always read the prophecy about Hazrat Musleh Maud, the promised reformer. So that's one of the activities. We will then have a nazm followed by an English speech, okay? So in total, there are 6 activities. And we also have translation of nazm as well. So if you want to take part in that, you can send us a recording for that as well. We also do a rehearsal for our jalsas, and that is usually on the same day, 1 hour before the actual jalsa. So basically at 5 p.m. on the 24th of February. So if you're selected for any of the activities, please make sure, remember to attend the rehearsal as well. We will send out obviously confirmation emails and reminders. So don't worry about that too much. Okay, so if you want to take part in Tilawat, these are the verses and the translation of the same verses. This document will also be uploaded to the G2 OneDrive, so you can access it from there as well. Or once the class has been uploaded to YouTube, you can rewatch the announcement part and find this information from there as well, if you can't access the OneDrive for any reason. So for hadith, we have this specific hadith, and Hazrat Masih Maud ﷺ has explained this hadith in his own words. So we have that as well. If you take part in hadith, make sure to read the Durood Sharif as well at the start of the recording. Okay, and you have to again mention in the email subject box hadith, your ID, and G2. So for the prophecy, we will be reading out the whole prophecy in the jalsa, but for the purpose of selecting students, you can just read out this small part from the prophecy. Okay, so this is the part which you have to practice and then record and then send to us. Okay, you don't have to read out the whole prophecy, just this part, which is in this document. Okay, so for nazm, we have selected this specific nazm. The name of this nazm is Mahmood Ki Amin. Okay, and we've selected these 5 couplets. So make sure to practice the nazm before you record it and then send it to us. If you want to do the translation of the nazm, then the translation is here as well in this box. Okay, but remember, if you're taking part for nazm, make sure to write nazm in the email subject box. If you're taking part for the nazm translation, then mention nazm translation in the subject box. Okay, so another thing, this nazm, although we would like students to send us recordings for this specific nazm, but if there is a nazm about Hazrat Musleh Maud, which you feel more confident reciting, then you can send a recording of that as well. Okay, but make sure to send us, make sure to tell us in the email where it's from. So if it's from Kalam Mahmood, make sure to write that, and we will inshallah then include that in the jalsa. Okay, but it has to be about Hazrat Musleh Maud. Okay. So again, for speech, it's your choice, whatever you want to write your speech about, but try to make sure that the theme is about Hazrat Musleh Maud's childhood. Okay, so that should be the theme for your speech. The speech has to be in English because our course is in English. Okay, and again, in the email subject box, mention speech, your name, your student ID, and make sure to mention these things at the start of your recording as well, and rename the recorded audio file with this information as well. So that's it for the Jalsa announcement, and I would like to encourage all the students to please send at least one recording for one of the activities. Okay, it doesn't matter whether you get selected or not. The important thing is to participate, and you can do that just by sending us your recording. Okay, and we will listen to it, and the teachers really enjoy it. So please make sure to participate and send us your recordings. Jazakumullah.
Jazakumullah for that. Okay, so everybody, you have heard it. Please make sure you record and send in your recordings to the email address RG2 teacher just told us about. Okay, it's a great way to participate and take part in RG2 events. So we would all really gladly appreciate it if you could do so. All right, so I have also another announcement to make, which I believe you're already aware of. So this upcoming week is half term, okay, and we would want you all to have a break as well. All right, so we will not be having any classes, any G2 classes during the half term break. You will be given half term homework, but we will be talking about that tomorrow, inshallah. But as of for the G2 classes, there won't be any homeworks given in the next week, which is basically the half term. And our classes will then restart on the 20th of February 2023. Okay, so next week is your half term as well. So as according to our schedule for today, we are looking at Vaw Madda as our rule in focus for today. So I will be talking to you all about that. And then as always, we're going to have a bit of practicing as well done using we'll be looking at chapter number 26, and we're going to be reciting verses 101 to 128. And then I'm going to give a quick recap of our mispronounced letters as well. Okay, so let's start off with our rule of the day. So during this week, you all went through a rule known as normal elongation. And you were all introduced to this word called mud, okay, right here, mud. And mud is basically an Arabic word, which means to lengthen or to prolong, okay? So mud is an Arabic word. It means to lengthen or to prolong. Now, there are 3 letters known as huruful mud. And in English, they're called letters of prolongation. So there are 3 letters of prolongation. These huruful mad letters will cause prolonging of sounds when they come after a certain stroke. So if you see these 3 huruful mad letters and they come after a certain stroke, there will be some form of prolongation. Okay? So you already went through alif mad, and you've already would have gone through ya mad as well. But today, most importantly, we are looking at vaw mad. That's our rule. Okay? So normally we know whenever a short vowel appears on a letter, we give it a 1 second timing. So you have this dhamma here, and it's a short stroke of dhamma, so we will always just give it a 1 second timing. Okay? However, vaw sakin. Vaw sakin is one of our huruful mad letters. Normally, whenever you see a vaw sakin, you know you need to join it to something. Why? Because this vowel carries a sukoon or jazm on top, and this tells us we need to join this letter to another letter. But whenever you see a vaw sakin and there is a short stroke of dhamma right before it, so there is a short stroke of dhamma followed by a vaw sakin, then that vowel sakin will now be referred to as a vowel mad. Okay? So whenever there is a vowel sakin and the letter joining to the vowel sakin has a dhamma, it will be a rule of vowel mad. Okay? Note the difference. We are saying vowel sakin here, and here we're saying vowel mad, and that is because of the dhamma before it. Okay? And this will now cause the sound to be prolonged for 2 counts. Okay? So let's take a look at a couple of examples. All right? So we already know mad means to lengthen or to prolong. There are 3 different huruf al-mad letters or letters of prolongation. There's alif, vowel, and ya. Okay, and if I come down a bit, there we go. So let's take a look at this example. We said whenever you see a vowel sakin, you know you need to join it to a letter. Okay, you will join that vowel sakin to a letter, and you will join it to the most recent mutaharrik letter. If the letter right before the vowel sakin, or if the letter joining to the vowel sakin carries a dhamma, you will apply the rule of vowel mad, and you will elongate the sound for 2 seconds. So if we were to read this example, we can see there is a ya, sod, and there is a dal with a shadda. So this dal and sod will join together, and this vowel sakin and dal will join together as well. So when you're reciting this, you're going to say yasudduna, yasudduna. So as you can hear, when I was reciting this, I elongated, I stretched out the sound of the dal because there is a vowel sakin. The dal that's joining to the vowel sakin is carrying a dhamma. Very important, remember, it's the dhamma that will allow us to prolong the sound for 2 seconds or 2 counts. And that's exactly what we did here. Now, let's take a look at this next example here. Yuwalluna. Yuwalluna. Okay, again, this vowel is joining to the lam, and this lam is joining to this vowel sakin. But this is a vowel sakin for now. But remember, because the letter that's joining to the vowel sakin is carrying a dhamma, as it states here, then we will stretch the sound out for 2 seconds or 2 counts, and this vowel sakin will now be referred to as a vowel mad. Okay? So we prolong it for 2 seconds or 2 counts. Let's call a couple of students to the mic just so we can practice some of these examples. Co-host, could I please have our first student to the mic?
Can student G2677 come to the mic, please?
Jazakumullah. Student G2677, Assalamu alaikum. Student G2677, Assalamu alaikum. Okay, no worries. Could we please move on to another student?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good too, alhamdulillah. Jazakumullah for asking. So, have you understood the rules so far?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, let's start off with ta'awudh and tasmiyah, and I'll ask you to start from this example for me, please. Okay?
Okay. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim.
So from here.
Sabuna.
Well done, mashallah, mashallah. That was very, very nicely recited. Let's do that once again. Do you want to repeat after me?
Yes, please.
Yahsabuna.
Yahsabuna.
Well done. Now, did you notice that we stretched out the sound of the ba for 2 seconds? Did you notice that?
Yes.
And do you know why we did that?
Because of the blue letter in front of it.
Yeah, so there is a vowel sakin. And what letter is joining to this vowel sakin? What letter are we joining to this vowel here?
Sukoon.
Okay, so the vowel does carry a sukoon, which means we need to join it to a letter. But in particular, we're joining it to the ba. The ba is a mutaharrik letter. A mutaharrik means a letter that carries a stroke, okay? And this is carrying a dhamma on top. So whenever there is a vowel sakin, right, and there is a dhamma before it, we should join the letters together and stretch the sound out for 2 seconds or 2 counts, okay? So the reason why we stretch the sound out of the vowel for 2 seconds was because there is a vowel sakin and there was a dhamma before it. And because of that, now we apply the rule of vowel mad. Okay, what rule do we apply?
Vowel mad.
Amazing, well done. Can you also read out this example for me, please?
Okay. Yuh. Sinuna.
Well done, mashallah. And again, if you could just remind me, why are we stretching the sound out of the noon?
Because of the vowel mad.
Yes, it's the rule of vowel mad. So you have a vowel sakin and there is a dhamma before it. Can you see this little dhamma here?
Yes.
So when we are joining these letters together, we apply the rule of vowel mad. So the rule of vowel mad will only be applied if there is a vowel sakin and the letter joining to it has a dhamma. Or if there is a dhamma followed by a vowel sakin, basically. Okay, then you apply the rule of vowel mad. Okay, Jazakumullah for coming to the mic, student G2677. That was very, very nicely recited. Jazakumullah and Allah Hafiz. Allah Hafiz. Okay, so there we go. All right, let's go to our section that we're meant to be reciting today. I believe, where did it go? Here, there we go. Today we're reciting from verses 101 to 128. So I'll be calling students up one by one to the mic and we will be practicing these different verses. When you are called to the mic, make sure you apply all the rules you have learned so far. And if you can you try, whoever I call to the mic, and if you're not called to the mic, try to find out where the rule of vowel mad is being applied. Okay, where you can find the rule of vowel mad. Remember, for the rule of vowel mad, if you see a vowel sakin and there is a dhamma before it, that's where the rule of vowel mad would normally be applied. Okay, so co-host, could we please have another student to the mic?
And student G2736, come to the mic, please.
Jazakumullah. Student G2736. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum salam. How are you doing today? Okay, no worries. Can we try that one more time? Student G2736. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. You want to start with A'udhu Billah and Bismillah, and you can start reciting from here for me, please, okay?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فما لنا من شافعين ولا صادق حميم فلو أن لنا قرة فنكون من المؤمنين.
Well done, mashallah, mashallah. Very, very nicely recited, student G2736. That was a beautiful recitation. I can see you've tried your best to apply all the rules. And And I could hear that in your recitation today. So well done. You've taken great care when it comes to reciting these portions. Now let's take a look at a couple of things together. Okay. Now, when we've been learning about certain letters, we said that we have letters of tongue, right? And we have letters of the throat as well. Are you aware of that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have certain letters of the throat and certain letters of the tongue. So this letter Ain is a letter of throat. Okay, what is it a letter of?
And the throat.
Well done. And the sound of Ain comes from the middle of the throat. So try saying Ain for me. Student G2736.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you try saying Ain?
Ain.
Perfect. Well done. So this time around, I could already hear that you're saying the sound from the middle of the throat, okay? So now, if you try reciting this verse once again for me, but make sure you apply the rule of Ain there, okay? The right pronunciation.
فما لنا من شافعين عين
Okay. Fi'in.
فين.
Good, well done. But make sure the sound of Ain comes from the middle of the throat. Well done. Now, this Sad carries a stroke on top. Do you know what this stroke is called?
Is it a fatha?
Perfect, well done. And how long should we prolong a letter that carries a fatha?
To know one count.
One count. Well done. So when you were reciting it, you prolonged the sound of the Sad. Remember, since it's carrying a fatha, we will only give it a 1 second timing. Okay? So if you can repeat after me. وَلَا صَدِيقٍ.
ولا صديق.
Well done. Perfect. So Sad, we're giving it a 1 second timing. And did you notice when I was saying صديق, I stretched the sound out of the dal. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Right? And we stretched it out for 2 seconds. Do you know why we do that?
Is it because you're joining the letter?
Yes, partly. So there's certain rules that we learned about normal elongation. We introduce you to a word called mud. Do you know what mud means?
Give a letter, like when you prolong a letter.
Yes, absolutely. Well done. So mud means to prolong, and there are certain haruful mud letters. There are certain letters of prolongation where this rule of mud will be applied. Okay. There is vaw sakin, there is ya sakin, and there is alif. So we learnt about vaw sakin today, and I believe you would have learnt about ya sakin already. But a quick recap: if there is a short stroke of kasra followed by a ya sakin, you apply the rule of ya mad. So ya, meaning the letter ya, mad, to prolong. So it's the letter ya that's causing the prolongation. Does that sort of make sense?
Yeah.
So with the vaw sakin, we learned there should be a dhamma. With a ya sakin, we learned there should be a
Kasra.
good. Well done, a kasra. So you're stretching the sound out for 2 seconds over here because of the rule of ya mad. And over here, you have, I think, because of the speed, we couldn't catch it properly, but minal mu'min. Can you try saying that for me? Well done, mashallah. That was very, very nicely recited. Well done. Now, I believe you also have a sibling with you. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think he just went to the toilet. I'll just call him. Awad.
That's all right. So what we will do is I'll write your ID down and I'll call you after the next student, okay?
Okay, do you think I could do the ending dua?
I'd have to take a look, my friend. I can't promise you that, but I'll try my best to call your sibling to the mic today, okay? All right. Jazakumullah. Jazakumullah. All right, co-host, maybe please have another student to the mic.
And student G2700, come to the mic, please.
Jazakumullah.
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you doing today?
Alhamdulillah, good. How are you?
I'm good too, alhamdulillah. Jazakumullah for asking. So have you been understanding the rules so far?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. Okay, so when we're reciting the verses today, make sure you apply all the rules you've learned so far to your recitation. Okay?
Okay.
Perfect. There we go. Yeah, you can start with ta'awudh and tasmiyah, and if you can start off from here for me, please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان بسم الله الرحمن بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن في ذلك لآية وما كان أكثرهم مؤمنين وإن ربك لهو العزيز الرحيم كذبت قوم نوح المرسلين.
Okay, well done. I'm going to stop you right there. Jazakumullah, mashallah, that was very, very nicely recited. What I really liked about your recitation is that you also recited it melodiously, which is one of the things that we learned in our presentations. I believe it was last week or the week before. And we said that whenever we recite the Quran, we should try and recite it melodiously, okay, out of respect as well. So you've done a very, very good job at reciting it like that today for us. So well done. Let's take a look at just one or two things together, okay? So, do you know the rule of quiescent hamza? Does that ring a bell? Okay, no worries. So, the rule of quiescent hamza is that if there is a alif with a sukoon or a hamza with a sukoon, you give a soft jerking sound. What sound do you give?
A soft jerking sound.
Yeah, a soft jerking sound. And what I mean by that is when you're reciting this last verse, for example, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وما كان أكثرهم مؤمنين. Now, a lot of the times people say هم مؤمنين. Remember, even though there is a vowel there, there is a miniature hamza here. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So whenever you see something like that appear on a vowel, like a little hamza on top, the hamza will always take priority. So you will recite the hamza with the sukoon, but remember to give a soft jerking sound. So, hum mu'minin. Can you try saying that for me? Student G2700. Are you still there? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you are. Perfect. So, could you just recite this again? Hum mu'minin.
مؤمنين.
Well done. And did you notice we gave it a soft jerking sound there?
Yeah.
Perfect. And just to finish things off, over here, can you see there is a vowel sakin?
Yes.
Is vowel sakin one of our letters of prolongation?
No.
The answer is yes. Okay. We learnt about letters of prolongation. There's three. We said there's alif, vowel sakin, and ya sakin. And we learned that whenever there is a dhamma, a stroke of dhamma, followed by a vowel sakin, you will join the letters together and you will stretch the sound out for 2 seconds or 2 counts. So if there is a short stroke of dhamma followed by a vowel sakin, you stretch the sound out for 2 seconds or 2 counts, and that is you applying the rule of vowel mad. So this is why when you were reciting, you were saying qawmu nuhi. Did you notice we stretched the sound out of the noon?
Yeah.
Nuhi, we're stretching out for 2 seconds. And that's exactly what you did. All right. So that's because the rule of vowel mad. There's a short stroke of dhamma followed by a vowel sakin. So we stretch the sound out for 2 seconds or 2 counts. Okay?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, Jazakumullah for coming to the mic, student G2700. That was beautifully recited, okay? Allah Hafiz for now. Jazakumullah. Okay, co-host, may we please have another student to the mic?
Can student G2677 come to the mic, please?
Jazakumullah. Did you say G2677?
Yeah, I'm sorry. 1 second, please.
Yeah, that's fine.
Student G2676, come to the mic, please.
Jazakumullah. Student G2676, Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you doing today?
Alhamdulillah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too, alhamdulillah. Jazakumullah for asking. So, would you like to start off with the Awud and Tasmiyah? And you can start reciting from here for me, please, okay?
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذ قال لهم أخوهم نوح ألا تتقون إني لكم رسول أمين فاتقوا الله وأطيعون وما أسألكم عليه من أجر إن أجري إلا على رب العالمين.
Well done, mashallah, mashallah. Another beautiful recitation. Once again, you recited it melodiously, which is exactly what I'm looking for as well. So well done. Very, very nice recited. And I could also see that you were trying your best to apply all the rules, which is very good as well. Okay, so well done. Be very proud of your recitation for today. There's just a couple of things that I would like to point out. Okay. Now, do you know about the letters of prolongation?
Yeah.
Do you know there's 3 letters of them?
Yeah.
And do you know what letters they are?
Vaw mud, ya mud, and alif mud.
Good. Well done, mashallah. So alif, vaw sakin, or when you prolong it, vaw mad, and ya sakin, and when you prolong it, ya mad. Okay?
Yeah.
So we learnt about ya sakin. We said if there is a short stroke of kasra followed by a ya sakin, what should you do?
You should prolong the sound for 2 seconds.
Perfect. And this ya sakin becomes a?
Ya mud.
Well done. Well done. So when you are joining the ta and the ya together, make sure because of the kasra it's carrying, you're going to stretch the sound out for 2 seconds and apply the rule of ya mad. So if you can repeat after me. وَأَطِيعُونَ.
وَأَطِيعُونَ.
Well done, mashallah, mashallah. Very, very nicely recited. And just one last thing I wanted to point out. This letter is the letter Hamza, okay? A lot of the times people get confused because they think it's a letter Ain, but like a miniature version of it. Remember, an Ain looks like this, okay? And this is Hamza. And the sound of Hamza comes from your chest, from the bottom of your throat more towards your chest. It's like, you know, the letter A sound. It's pretty identical to that. So if you can repeat after me. As'alukum.
As'alukum.
Well done. So Ain and Hamza and Alif have literally the same sound. They have a simple letter A sound, which you have pronounced beautifully in this scenario. Okay, so that was very, very nicely recited. Jazakumullah for coming to the mic, G2676. That was very, very nicely recited. Allah Hafiz for now.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz. Okay, so co-host, could we please have another student to the mic?
Can student G2650 come to the mic, please?
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you doing today?
I'm good, alhamdulillah. How are you?
I'm good too, alhamdulillah. Jazakumullah for asking. So, have you understood everything taught today?
Yes.
Okay, amazing. Let's see how well you can apply those rules to your recitation today, okay? Do you want to start off with A'udhu Billah and Bismillah? And you can start reciting from here for me, please. All right?
Okay. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Fattakullaha wa ati'un. Qalu anu'minu laka wattaba'akal arzalun. Qala wa ma ilmi bima kanu ya'malun.
Well done, mashallah, mashallah. That was so nicely recited. That was a beautiful recitation, mashallah. I can see, again, you also recited it melodiously, which is amazing. And you also tried your best to apply all the rules that you know, okay? So be very proud of your recitation today, mashallah. That was very nicely recited. But there's just a couple of things I want to point out today, okay? Let's start off with this one. This letter dhal is carrying a stroke on top. Do you know what stroke is called?
A fatha.
Good, well done. It's carrying a fatha. And so how long should you prolong it for?
1 second.
Perfect, well done. So make sure when you're reciting this verse that you prolong it only for 1 second, this dhal, because it carries just a short stroke, just a fatha. Okay? So if you repeat after me, وَاتَّبَعَكَ الْأَرْذَلُونَ.
Wattaba'akal arzalun.
Well done, mashallah, mashallah. Very nicely recited. And in terms of the rule that we were learning today, we were learning about vowel mad, okay? And over here, can you see a vowel sakin?
Yes.
Is vowel sakin one of our letters of prolongation?
I think so.
You are very right to believe so. Vowel sakin is one of our letters of prolongation, okay? And the rule is very simple. Whenever there is a short stroke of dhamma, okay, and it's followed by a vowel sakin, that vowel sakin now becomes a vowel mad. Do you know what the word mad means?
No.
No worries. So the word mad means to prolong or to lengthen. What does it mean?
To prolong or lengthen it.
Good. So like you're stretching out the sound, okay? So that vowel mad, by vowel mad, we mean that the letter vowel is causing the effect of mad. In other words, you're stretching the sound out because of the vowel there. So that's why when there is this short stroke of dhamma followed by a vowel sakin, you stretch the sound out for 2 seconds, and that's exactly what we've done in this situation. You can see the lam is carrying a dhamma, and there is a vowel sakin straight after it. We're joining the lam to the vowel sakin. So how long do we prolong the letter for?
2 counts.
Yes, absolutely. 2 counts, 2 seconds. Well done. So that's what we are doing right here. Just wanted to recap that once more. All right, well done, student G2650. That was very nicely recited, mashallah. Keep practicing and inshallah you'll get there very soon, okay?
Okay.
Perfect. All right, take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz for now.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz. Okay, co-host, could we have one more student to the mic if that's okay?
Can student G2721 come to the mic, please?
Perfect. Student G2721, Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
How are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm good too, alhamdulillah. Jazakumullah for asking. So, could you start off with A'udhu Billah and Bismillah, and I will ask you to start reciting from here, okay?
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن حسابهم إلا على ربي لو تشعرون وما أنا بطارد المؤمنين إن أنا إلا نذير مبين.
Well done. Mashallah, mashallah. Again, a very, very nice recitation. You made sure you took your time to apply all the rules to your recitation today, which is fabulous. So well done, mashallah. That was very, very nicely recited. Let's remind ourselves about one of the rules that we have learned so far during the course of this week. The first one being here. When you were saying mu'minin, why did you stretch out the sound of the noon there?
Because there's a yamad after it.
Good, well done. And it's a yamat because there is a short kasra followed by a ya sakin. So if the letter joining to the ya sakin carries a kasra, that letter now becomes a yamad. So we have to stretch the sound out for 2 seconds or 2 counts. Okay, well done, mashallah. You recited that very nicely and you explained this rule very nicely to me as well. So jazakumullah for coming to the mic, student G2721. Keep practicing, okay? Jazakumullah. Allah Hafiz. All right, amazing. So I think this is all the time we've got for this practice part here. Let's just quickly take a look at our mispronounced letters. Very important. So we were going through, there we go, Qaf and Hamza for today. So let's get that all out. So there we go. There we go. Right, so this is the letter Qaf, okay? And it is a letter of throat. So the letter of Qaf, what you're doing is you're pronouncing the furthest most part of your tongue and it's touching the opposite portion of the hard palate. It blocks the passage of the throat. I don't think it's a letter of throat. It should be a letter of tongue. Okay. The letter of throats are different. But Qaf is a letter of tongue, I believe. And a lot of the time what people do is that they confuse the sound of the Qaf with a kaf. Remember, this is a kaf. It's very simple. Okay. And this is the letter Qaf. So as you can hear, I'm giving a thick, heavy sound, and I'm also giving a round mouth when I'm saying it. And to make the sound, you are using the furthest most part of the tongue, so the back part of your tongue, and it's touching the opposite portion of the hard palate, so the top part of the roof of your mouth, basically, but right at the back, okay? And the next letter is letter Hamza. This one is definitely a letter of throat, okay? And it's often replaced with the sound of Ain, which is what I mentioned today. The letter Ain, the sound of this Ain comes from the middle of the throat, but the sound of this Hamza comes from the bottom of the throat, more towards the chest, okay? So make sure you don't make an Ain sound when you're pronouncing this letter. Hamza and Alif often have the same sort of sound, all right? So let's make sure that we are aware of that. So this was a quick recap of Hamza and the letter Qaf, all right? Make sure to be able to differentiate between these two letters and give the right pronunciation for it as well. And just before we move on, I want to remind everyone, if you haven't done so already, make sure you go to the Google form that you can find in our chat facility, all right? So in our chat facility, our co-host has posted a Google form. If you could just go onto that link, press that link and just register your attendance to say that you attended the class today, that would be absolutely amazing. So if you can do that for us quickly before the class ends, even now if you want, then that would be perfect, all right? Okay, so as always, we're going to conclude our class with a closing prayer. And for that, I will request our co-host to call a student to the mic. Could we try to get student G2735 on the mic if possible? So that's G2735.
Yes, sure. Can student G2735 come to the mic, please?
Jazakumullah. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm good too. Alhamdulillah. Jazakumullah for asking. So as promised, I wanted to fulfill my promise and call you for the closing prayer. Do you want to start off with A'udhu Billah and Bismillah? And you can start reciting from here for me, okay?
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم ارحمني بالقرآن العظيم واجعله لي إماما ونورهم تنفدك.
Okay, well done. Very nicely recited. Can we just recite this last part again, but if you can repeat after me? Is that okay?
Yes.
وَاجْعَلْهُ لِي
واجعله لي
وَاجْعَلْهُ لِي
واجعله لي
إِمَامًا
إماما
ونورا
ونورا
وهدى ورحمة
وذرة
هدى
هدى
ورحمة.
ورحمة.
Well done. And could you read out the English translation for us?
Oh Allah, have mercy on me through the Quran the Great. And make it for me the leader, the light, the good and the guardians and the mercy, yes.
Yeah, the guidance and the mercy. Jazakumullah for coming to the mic, student G2735. Mashallah, that was very, very nice recited. Jazakumullah for coming to the mic.
Jazakallahu Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz. And just before we conclude our class now, let's just quickly remind ourselves of the homework. So today we went through Valmud. Make sure you go through chapter number 26, verses 101 to 128, which most of it we covered in today's class, and make sure you apply those rules to your recitation, any rule you've learned, okay? And here you have Qaf and Hamza. Make sure you try and pin out where these letters are present within your recitation as well, and try to make the right sound accordingly, okay? So it's very, very important to pay attention on the timing as well when you're reciting the Holy Quran. So that's it for today, everybody. That's your homework. Make sure to do your homework. And inshallah, we will see you in our G2 class tomorrow. Until then, take care of yourself, everybody. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.